So we finish episode 4, New Car Smell, which had a lot of Carrie and Quinn interaction in it. And then we move into episode 5 of season 2, which is called Q&A. This doesn't have a lot of Carrie and Quinn interaction in it, as it's largely focused on the interrogation of Nicholas Brody. But still, as we chart the progress of a ship, I feel like we can't really overlook this episode. So at the beginning of the episode, Estes comes barging in, very furious that the operation appears to have been compromised.
What the hell happened? I thought this was a surveillance operation.
It was, until Carrie took it upon herself to break cover and confront him. We had no choice but to move in.
She says Brody made her.
Did he?
No.
It's possible. I don't know, neither does he. What I do know is we've got to get Brody to tell us what he knows before Nazir's people realize he's missing.
I agree. I figure we got 24 hours tops. After that, you have to figure they go to ground or pick a new target.
And we lose our best shot at stopping an attack on America.
So, who goes in there and talks to him?
Carrie.
Are you shitting me?
She knows Brody better than anyone here. She's the only one that knows him up close and personal.
She is way too emotional. Reckless.
So the next exchange is quite interesting. Unlike LeBlanc 1, I had not started seeing the prospect of a ship yet between these two when I was watching this episode. But I was seeing the fledgling signs of reluctant admiration between the two of them. So in the next moment, you'll see that even though he's called Carrie reckless and initially said that she shouldn't be in the interrogation room with Brody, when Saul says that she should be there and that she can, contribute and play a part, Quinn reluctantly acknowledges that. Partly it's because Carrie is the star of the show, I know, but part of it, I like to think, is that deep down he does know that she's a good operator. And the respect and admiration between these two colleagues has been one of the more attractive features of this relationship before it even became something that might possibly be romantic.
Let her stay. She can help. She's forgotten more about Brody and Nazir than we'll ever know.
So in the episode New Car Smell, we already had a mutual admiration showing up between Carrie and Quinn. And just then we saw Quinn reluctantly acknowledge that Carrie might contribute something if she was in the interrogation room. Then we also now have Carrie and Saul listening in on Quinn's interrogation of Brody. And she basically concedes that Quinn is doing a good job. This, I think, is quite a big deal for Carrie because she doesn't suffer fools gladly. She's very critical of other people and herself. So the fact that she is admiring of Quinn's work speaks volumes.
Were you aware that he was killed at his madrasa during an American drone strike? I wasn't, no.
He's setting the table with Brody's lies.
He's good.
So the next scene is the pretty unforgettable scene where Quinn appears to lose it completely and, in a fit of rage, pulls out a pocket knife and stabs Brody through the hand. Now, I think I wrote before that there are a whole bunch of unsettling implications about this, that Quinn has anger management issues, that he's a torturer, the fact that this sort of torture is taking place on US soil. It's all very unsettling. And then, the moment when Carrie comes bursting in and an enraged Quinn is pulled away, almost frothing at the mouth, saying, "I will end you." It's a very interesting insight into his character.
What is the target?
I don't know.
That joke in memory, you fucking asshole! Jesus fucking Christ! When's the attack? Talk, you motherfucker! You will talk to me, Brody! Goddammit! Get the fuck off of me! What the fuck is the matter with you? This is my interrogation!
Get him out of here.
Fuck you! I'm fucking at you!
So if there's anything freakier than that particular scene, in which I have to admit I did not like the character of Quinn, and I was thinking, this guy is crazy, it's the fact that in the scene with Saul, you can see that Saul is a little bit unsettled by the fact that Quinn is back to his normal, calm, chilled, collected self, with no signs of the guy who just chucked an absolute wobbly while he was in the interrogation room. And then when he calls him on it and says, that was all theatre, you were acting, Quinn's smiling and saying, yeah, well, you know, every good cop needs a bad cop. So we see at that point that Quinn is a really good actor. So I know I've gone around this particular boy before, but I'm still not sure whether or not the characterisation of Quinn we see in these early parts of season 2 are Quinn acting out a role, or is it Rupert Friend acting out the part that was designed for a guest star and not really designed for a character of longevity, so it didn't have the full character arc ahead of him. In any case, the switch from frothing at the mouth and rage to calm, collected and slightly amused is very, very interesting, and I admit that at that point I started being quite intrigued by the character.
What you did with the knife, losing your temper, was all theater, wasn't it?
Every good cop needs a bad cop.
So there we have episode 5 of season 2, and it was a good episode. Not a lot of scenes between Carrie and Quinn. Definitely no shippy scenes as far as I could tell at the time. But a lot of development about their relationship, which I thought was quite interesting. And we also learned that perhaps Quinn's temper isn't as bad as we thought it was, but he's got a really interesting ability to act.
Lay your hands on me, lay your hands on me, lay